Today's May Marine Madness film is directed by Ovidio Assonitis. It is the 1977 release by American International Pictures. The film is Tentacles. So once again, feeding off the coattails of the Jaws success, we do have yet another film which is mimicking the animal rampage type scenario in order to gain some notoriety or possibly just a quick buck. Tentacles, honestly, I didn't think was too great a film. I remember seeing it when I was a kid. I was bored then, and I was pretty much bored this time around myself. I honestly didn't see anything too different or redeeming about the film. It's very slow paced, which is very traditional. Obviously films used to have a slower build rather than going for the guts and glory immediately the way films do nowadays. That really isn't too bad a thing. The only thing is it took maybe just a little too long. We also have this goofy theme music that comes up every time the creature is about to come up and attack, or if there's something that they want the audience to take note of, which may be an important factor later. It's just this annoying, really bad music that just keeps coming up every single time. It's just completely unnecessary. So we do have Henry Fonda, who is playing the president of Trojan Construction, and no, that is not the condom company. Basically, his company is what has caused the problem, as they have uncovered the giant octopus's secret lair. They also use these ridiculous high frequencies for their radio controls, which obviously pissed off the animal, and it has been going around killing people. The first victim is an infant which is left alone along a cliffside. It was a woman picnicking with her child. The moron goes off to chit-chat with somebody, and when she turns around, the strollers in the water people just assumed that the child just rolled in or fell in. It was a 10-foot drop. So obviously they assumed it was pretty much dead. Obviously the octopus just decided it would have been a nice appetizer and just snatched it. A lot of the murder or kill scenes are just very much implied. You don't actually immediately see the tentacles coming up and crushing people. That doesn't happen until way later in the film, which is roughly within the last 30 minutes or so. So in the meantime, we do have this really lousy music, and we have these setup scenes in which people are on boats or on docks, and one minute they're there, one minute they're not there. So we do have a lot of Houdini deaths. Shelley Winters is also in the film. She plays Tolly Turner. You know, she's definitely one of those character actors, so she really does keep in tune with that. The character itself really isn't all that intriguing, but she does play somewhat of a vital role, as her son, as well as her son's best friend, are entered in somewhat of a boating contest, a boat race. This obviously doesn't really pick up until the end of the film, which would be near the climax, when obviously the octopus does appear. It attacks the children, but only decides to eat one, which happens to be Tolly's son's best friend. So obviously he was a very picky eater. The conclusion itself, I absolutely was just astounded by it. I did not see it coming at all. We have a whale trainer from a local aquarium who has decided to assist with capturing or just putting an end to all of these octopus murders. In one sequence, the octopus does break or wreck the container that the orcas are in. They flee, and it is assumed that they are just pretty much gone. They will not be returning. Obviously, in the ending sequence, they basically roughhouse the octopus and put him back in his place. I really love the fact that they combined animal battles, and you thought Roger Corman originated this with all of his mega shark films and whatnot. Obviously not. Tentacles eventually did receive a DVD release in 2005 by MGM. Obviously there have been a lot of similar creature type films, but in 2008 the Asylum released a slightly similar film, which is being regarded as somewhat of a remake or a ripoff, called Monster. Obviously the film has received very bad reviews. I have not seen it myself, so I really do not know just how bad the film is. I am slightly familiar with some Asylum releases. I know they're known as mock blockbuster type films, so I really don't know if that's what they were going with or if it was just an accidental similarity in this case. Tentacles definitely is not a bad film, it's just a bit slow. The story really didn't interest me too much. I just honestly maybe was just hoping for a bit more. This is obviously a film that I do remember from my childhood, so it was mostly just nostalgia factor, so I guess I had just to some degree built it up and wanted just a bit more. But definitely, if you are into natural horror, eco-horror genre, I would definitely give it a try. You know, it definitely does have very good actors. It's a very well-played film, but it does drag a bit. At best, you know, just for the orca battle at the end, that's definitely worth watching. Obviously, it doesn't beat zombie versus shark, but orca versus octopus, still not too bad. That is pretty much all I have for you today, and I will see you when I see you.